Move over, kids. How are you? It is Saturday, and it's actually probably, most likely, definitely the last Saturday podcast before we move to Thursdays. So let's have this podcast is bananas. That's like the term you kids are using these days, right? Everything's bananas because and I'll tell you what, Zelda did it first though. What if Zelda was the thing? Because what's the clan in Breath of the Wild that is all about the Yigi? Is it Yiga? What is it? Say it again. Yiga. The Yiga. I got that one right. We were talking last night how I have a hard time when I see words and I just I just go all different directions with them. Was the Yiga clan. They're all about the bananas. Do I have to say spoiler alert on that? Because it's kind of a spoiler.
They have sickles.
So anyways, for our last podcast, we were able to get everyone. Everyone is here. This is the Smash Brothers version of everyone is here for the podcast today.
Well, the last for Saturday, not the last ever.
Yes.
Just want to clarify.
Wait. Say that again.
Just want to clarify.
What was the clarification?
On a Saturday.
Last on a Saturday. Very true. Yes. We are going to be on Thursdays now. Thursday nights. I don't believe you were on that one. It was actually, It's probably Devin's fault, actually. He brought a friend, Raquel, and then she just got, I don't know, she brought an atmosphere, and it was just, a really cool, and we were like, yeah, this Thursday thing might work.
Was she on for a second time?
I don't know. I'm not 100% sure. She's been around, though, here and there on the channel. I'm not sure if on another podcast, though. Social Games, hello. Yesterday, Social Games was on the Smash podcast, or not podcast, we do a Friday night Smash. Because I had to work all week, I ended up doing it really late, and we also got just a really different vibe last night, and it was just intense. I was signing off. I'm like, okay, guys, I'm tired. I got to go to bed. And then I was like, wait a second. This dude over here, he's got 4 in a row. And the competition on my thing is if you win 7 in a row, you get the belt. So I literally had to stay on the show for another hour or so. And thankfully, and not thankfully for him, but thankfully for me, Pea Shooter Plant, that was his name. He lost on his last one, so I didn't have to give away the belt. So, Paradox, what's up? We're just reminiscing about last night. Paradox was like, I gotta go to bed, but then he didn't either. So, William, you've been gone for 2 weeks. Were you stuck in the fridge, or were you lost at sea? Where were you?
No, so that one Saturday. So we did a Saturday last week, was it?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I was at Star Wars Celebration.
Whoa, Star Wars Celebration. Yeah. You're next level nerd. You went to the Chicago event?
I went to Chicago.
So you straight up traveled from Boston all the way to Chicago to catch the news about Star Wars, huh?
Yeah, by train.
By train?
I didn't take a plane. I took a train.
You are a Jedi.
It was cheaper.
Still. Tell me about what was it like? What was the feel? Tell me about it. I've never been to a Star Wars convention.
So you need to go to one if you're interested at all. There's a lot of people, especially on Saturdays. There's a lot of people dressed up in costume. You go to, if there's the big panel that you go to with as many people as there are in a crowd, it would be like if you got to be in the crowd for an E3 event and they announced one really big game. You get chills.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah, there's just this spark in the air that just gets you emotional.
So is Star Wars obviously it must be is Star Wars for me Zelda? Is Star Wars your Zelda?
I don't know if I'd go that far with it, but I do love my Star Wars.
Okay. What is your Zelda? What is everybody's Zelda? That's the question to the panel. What is your Zelda? And while Social Games, Paradox, EPS 5000, what's your guys' Zelda? And why I say what's your Zelda, I mean, you look at my background, I'm obsessed. The only thing you kind of see is Labo, and that's because it's very current. And, where do you put that stuff anyways? But, you can see that, I'm obsessed with Zelda. So what is your Zelda? We'll get William in a second. David, what's your Zelda?
Probably Zelda.
Zelda's your Zelda?
Yeah.
I would have said Smash Brothers. You don't talk about Zelda a lot. You talk about Smash Brothers a lot.
I mean, Ocarina of Time is still like top 5 games of all time for me. It was the number one for the longest time. I don't know what really dethroned it. It's just the fact that I just have to make sure everything. I just have to reconsider everything. Make sure, I kind of have to like dust off the shelf a little bit, so to speak.
Yeah, but Tetris is one of my top 5 games of all time, but I'm not like, you don't see blocks everywhere.
Right, right, and that's the thing is that you see a lot of Smash because it's a very immediate game, but it's been 2 years since I played Breath of the Wild, and it's been even longer, 15, almost 20 years since I've played Ocarina of Time fully. So it's just gonna have that soft spot for me. It's gonna be that moment where I was like, I don't know if you guys have seen that meme, but it's like kids how they saw Ocarina of Time back in the day, and it's like Skyrim essentially, and then how people see it now, and it's just like in its 64-bit glory. So it's just like I don't know, it's like the Tricks rabbit. We grow up and we kind of a little bit of the luster shines off essentially.
So you're officially saying Pong is not your Zelda?
Yes.
Okay. So no one's allowed to say that's the quote of the day though. Zelda is my Zelda. Devin, what about you?
Honestly, I would have to say, well, it's very vague, but Nintendo in general. But if I had to pick a specific thing, it would probably
wait, I got it. I already know. Don't say it. I absolutely know what your Zelda is. Let's see if everybody else has been listening to Devin throughout the months that we've known him. Guess. What do you say? What do you think Devin's Zelda is?
Should I wait?
Yeah, wait.
Does it have to be specifically gaming?
Yes, it is.
Oh.
I know what his Zelda is. It goes back to his brother.
Okay, I think he's actually right.
You put us on the spot, and then I can't think.
That's okay. If it was, I know. I pay attention. Like, for whatever reason, I remember details. I don't remember I don't know. I don't remember a lot of things, but details I remember. I can tell you right now, if it was comic books, it would be Captain America, and if it was video games, it would be.
Is it a Nintendo IP?
Yep, Nintendo IP.
Prominent?
Yes. Yes and no. Yes and no. You would understand why I say yes and no. He's definitely one of the most iconic characters, but he's also very forgettable.
Okay, so it's not Metroid.
Ken is right.
I'm gonna say, oh my goodness, F-Zero. I don't know. I can't.
No.
I almost said Balloon Fight too, but
Balloon Fight, definitely.
He's all about the tingle.
Almost. You got the color right.
Same color.
Anybody in the chat, can you guess Devin's character? I'll just start giving clues until you figure it out. Okay, here's the easiest one. Player 2.
Oh, Luigi.
Luigi.
There you go.
So we're talking like Mario Brothers, the first one?
Year Luigi stuff, and yeah.
Well, because of Super Mario World being like my first video game I ever played, I hold that very fondly.
Mm-hmm.
So Luigi's always been my favorite character since playing on Super Mario 2 on the All-Stars game.
Yeah, and if we were to get into like side scrollers of all time, that is probably my favorite side scroller.
And DPS, you do have it right. I love Little Mac, so.
Yeah, David, didn't you tell me before side scrollers were your thing? So shouldn't like your Zelda be like Mario?
That's a tough question, man. It's like I said, I just have to kind of run through the whole list. But yeah, the Super Mario World, Ocarina of Time. I mean, those are like the ones that really come to mind immediately. I love Kirby. I love Kirby, but I don't think any Kirby title really sits at the top 10.
Gotcha. Social Games is saying his Zelda is Smash and Zelda. JR has Fire Emblem, a man of fine taste. Even though Fire Emblem is not, I would say Fire Emblem. I'm hard pressed to say that it's my. I want to say it's my second favorite franchise, but then I'm like, no, I definitely like Smash Brothers better. But it almost feels like Smash Brothers is cheating. Like when I told you, you can't pick Smash Brothers as your favorite soundtrack. You know what I mean? It feels like, but it's a little different in the same aspect because Smash Brothers is definitely a different type of game than just taking everybody's soundtrack. It's literally not just taking everybody's video. So I don't know. I would say. I like Smash Brothers better than Fire Emblem, but for some reason I still want to say Fire Emblem is my second favorite Nintendo franchise. Does that make sense in a not making sense kind of way?
Yeah, I definitely see Fire Emblem as like the wine drinkers of Nintendo, if that makes sense. It's kind of like an acquired taste because it's not something that's incredibly appealing to everybody. First of all, it's like turn-based strategy game.
Yeah. It's
slash RPG with like, and then the theme is very like kind of like knights and warriors and princes and et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, it's very weird.
That doesn't have like the type of like appeal that most games have. But then again, Zelda has, arguably you've got a princess and you've got like a demon king, and then you've got the little peasant boy. I call him peasant boy because he's from like a little village most of the time. So,
it is weird.
Yeah, it's interesting.
But Fire Emblem still, it has a very Atlas type feel. It does not feel necessarily like a Nintendo game. There's nothing really Nintendo about it, in my opinion. It doesn't have that, it's very like, we live in a world, Game of Thrones, it's fantasy, but it's not your like crazy weird fantasy,
I'd argue that, Ken, just not like maliciously argue against you or anything. I just want to present this point. I think in the latest titles, Fire Emblem has felt more like Nintendo than ever, I think. And I think the Nintendo fans are proud to have that, where it's like we have this broad spectrum where we have, your Marios and your Zeldas and your Donkey Kong and Kirby, right? But then you have Fire Emblem, and it's like, it is an acquired taste, and it's not incredibly appealing to everyone maybe like 10 years ago, but it's really almost like rebranded itself because when Awakening came out, it's like this surge of people just really wanted to play this game. And I think its popularity skyrocketed after that. I know that whenever the Game Boy Advance games came over, or like when they were introduced to Melee, there was a surge of popularity. But I actually think the franchise almost died since then, until Awakening.
Yeah, I agree. I think Awakenings is what really, pun intended, awoken the American public to it. And I would say I disagree that I still feel like it doesn't have too much of it doesn't have, I don't know what it is. I know that Nintendo fans love the range of Nintendo, but it's still, to me, it feels very like not so much Nintendo, more Atlas, which is perfectly fine. And we've got stream may be out of sync. Oh, why is the stream out of sync? Abra used Teleport, who he says his favorite is Pokemon. His Zelda is Pokemon, but his favorite game is A Link to the Past. Very, very good game to choose. Surprisingly, Link to the Past, I did my top 5, and I actually picked Link's Awakening above Links to the Past. Link to the Past was just barely, it was a hard choice, and I chose Link to the Past. That was based solely on memories and my attachment to it as a child. If I were to if I were to play them for the first time ever, side by side, like today, like one after another, Link to the Past is probably a better game, but for me personally, Link's Awakening is actually the one that got me. So William, like Nick said, is glad. I am happy to see all 4 of us. Don't forget, guys, we're moving to Thursdays after this. Thursday nights at, what did we say? Was it 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time or 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time? we got to figure that out. But
It was
it's
definitely in the later hours. That's
yeah,
for
it was the
sure.
later hours. We're moving to there. If it's a total failure, we will move back. But I don't think we're just trying to do what's best for the podcast. But what's your Zelda?
So
William.
I'm gonna have to go with Aber there. It could very likely be Pokemon if we're going with a Nintendo franchise. But I love my Mega Man series. I just don't have nearly enough Mega Man stuff to.
Well, to be fair, there's a lot more Pokemon stuff available.
Yes.
And Capcom seemed to have, for a long time, it seemed like Mega Man was abandoned.
But other than that, like Mega Man, Final Fantasy.
Mega Man, Final Fantasy. Okay,
Yeah.
so what would you put? So tops though, you say Pokemon or Mega Man?
Oh, I have more Pokemon stuff, and I'm always picking up Pokemon stuff.
So
But
you
I'm
think
also picking up stuff from all the other franchises too, for Mega Man and Final Fantasy. It's tough.
You're
to
a
pick
well-cultured
one.
man.
Yeah, it's tough to pick one. I mean, there's Final Fantasy stuff around here, along with the Star Wars stuff. One of my collecting for Star Wars stuff is the little creatures called banthas. Like a little fuzzy one right here.
Oh,
That little face.
Aw.
I got him at the convention.
That is cool.
But
Are those
Ken, this is
who
what
rode those?
That was the Tusken Raiders that rode those.
Yes. I knew it. I just didn't remember. So,
Okay.
Paradox. I'm talking. Let's do both. Give me your favorite video game series, and then give me your favorite Nintendo series. And if it's the same thing, then it's the same thing. William, a Star Wars question, since it's so big in
Yes.
the news. I fancied myself a big Star Wars fan, but definitely, I don't know. Back in the day, Star Wars and Star Trek were the first two like fan bases that did the cosplay. Back then, though, you got made fun of. You were like a giant dork, like in all the bad senses. It wasn't until, I don't know, like the 2000s that the nerds actually got into power, and we were like, everyone thought it was the coolest thing. But I mean, I remember the Klingons back in the day, they used to get just like, oh, you're just the worst kind of nerd alive. But I fancied myself somewhat of a Star Wars fan. I don't think I ever crossed the level of reading the books and stuff like that, so I don't know if I was an uber Star Wars fan, but I really liked the original trilogy. Then, like a lot of people who liked the original trilogy, I didn't really like, Jar Jar Binks and stuff like that. When episode 7 and 8 came out, I know there's a huge fan base that like hates it, but I think the Star Wars fan base might have gone a little on the dark side at this point, in how toxic they are, or kind of like maybe even how when some of the Nintendo fan base, like when they expect a Nintendo Direct and they don't get it, then they just turn violent on Nintendo. It seems like some of the Star Wars fan base has turned that way a little bit, and maybe they're right, maybe they're wrong. But I have not watched episode 7 or episode 8 yet, and it's not because I don't know. I was gonna wait. It didn't really capture me like I thought it would, the attention, like Endgame. I want to see the Avengers Endgame really bad, and I'm going to go see that. But for whatever reason, 7 and 8 didn't capture me. Did 7 and 8, though, after you watch it, did it capture you? Are you a fan of 7 and 8? Episode 7 and 8.
I enjoy them.
Uh-huh.
I don't hate them. When people just are so toxic towards those ones, I don't get it.
Uh-huh.
I really don't get it.
I'm the same way with personally the movies. It's 1, 2, and 3 with Jar Jar Binks and all that stuff. I actually like those movies. I'm a fan of all of the Star Wars movies. I don't understand what the big hate is between 1, 2, and 3, and then 7 and 8. I really don't get it. And Solo. I thought Solo was really cool, but it could be because I have a huge Chewbacca bias. I have no idea.
Yeah.
Maybe because you're reminiscent, your facial hair and stuff. I don't know. I'll tell you this. I
love Chewbacca. Okay. Chewbacca is awesome. And speaking of that, William is taunting me.
But yeah, back there's a blue chrome Chewbacca pop.
Oh wow. I'll say this, Devin. I'll make a confession. Now that I've like had a YouTube channel, I reflect back on some of my past, and I'm like, I guess I was like that a little bit. I've been pretty toxic towards episode 1 for sure. Very toxic towards episode 1, and actually the first 3. I still don't like them actually, but I will say I kind of like what I was describing the fan base for 7 and 8 right now. I was pretty much that for 1, 2, and 3. So there's a confession.
I can understand how it would be weird because everybody was used to 4, 5, and 6, and it was the core of like what we all knew of Star Wars at the time. I can get it. It's just I don't understand because it's just expanding on the story that you already love. Like I don't understand why there was so much hate behind it. Maybe it's because I wasn't a big Star Wars person. I like Star Wars, but it's not something that I would go out of my way to like go to the convention like William did. Well,
Yeah.
actually, if somebody handed me the tickets, I would definitely
Right.
I probably wouldn't pay for it. Is what I'm saying.
When people are doing their cosplay and stuff like that, you got all kinds of different types of cosplay. You got the people that'll just do a simple costume. Maybe they'll do like some Jedi robes and not be one particular Jedi. There'll be people that look like a character, even in their facial features, and they'll go with, "Hey, I look like this character. I'm gonna dress as that character." And there was a guy there with his son. They were both dressed as Indiana Jones and his father.
I saw that.
And,
That was cool.
Yeah,
I saw your picture of that.
That was fantastic. But there are people that go and they do parody versions of costumes and characters. One in particular, this is a Rick and Morty
I
stormtrooper.
love that one.
Yeah, that's really good. That I do like the parody, like a costume within a costume. So okay,
There was a giant porg.
oh my gosh. And
Yeah, this
Nick
would've been
made
fun
a
to go
good,
to.
huh?
I said that would have been fun to go to as a Star Wars fan as well. The convention.
Oh yeah.
What about you, David? Did you see 7 and 8? Have you seen that at all?
I've seen them all. I'm a fan of everything. I'm like Devin. I love I grew up with the prequels, so I have that bias to it. I don't know why. I'm a sucker for Darth Maul, Qui-Gon Jinn. I mean, he was my favorite Jedi up until Obi-Wan. But so
Let me ask you this, David. When you saw episode, because I did, I did it how you're supposed to. I saw 4, 5, and 6 first. So when you saw episode 1, 2, and 3, right? You got those. You can't deny the best, unless 7 and 8. I haven't seen 7 and 8, but 1, 2, and 3 had the best lightsaber fights. How did you feel then when you saw Obi-Wan and Darth Vader go at it in episode 4? Because it was pretty just lame by episode 4 how the sword fights went. How did you feel about that jump then if you, a child of 1, 2, and 3, jumped over to 4, 5, and 6? Because you saw it in order, I assume. Like, the Star Wars order.
I did see it in order, but it was kind of like a stacked viewing. So I became a fan during the prequels. But
Paradox, we'll see in a bit. Go on.
But my parents did have the older movies just in VHS, right? So I kind of saw it as like a smorgasbord in a sense, like all together. I was young, so there wouldn't the prequel, sequel, anthology didn't really click with me. It was Star Wars.
So there was never a point when you were like, wow, these sword fights are boring?
No. And if anything, I know that argument still stands with the newer movies, but I don't agree with that. I think it's a different type of fight. It's more of an intimate type of battle, more to cause emotion. And I actually prefer the way the lightsabers look now. Like Kylo, whenever 2014, a year before the release of The Force Awakens, there was like an 88-second teaser that JJ posted on his Twitter or Instagram. And it shows Kylo's lightsaber, how it has like a really volatile energy to it. It cackles, right? It's just kind of like crackling, right? It's the way that's animated and the way it looks. I've always thought that lightsabers should kind of look like that, if that makes sense.
I get that too.
And I love his aggressive fighting pose, where he kind of like arches his arms in front of him and gets really aggressive. I think that I look at every Sith's like fighting pose, and I think his is my favorite.
Yeah, I would have to say that too. Like everybody that I know complained about Kylo that he was like a whiny little baby. I'm sorry. If when it comes to favorite characters in the newer movies, Kylo is definitely my number
he
one.
definitely has a BA factor to him. He just looks so cool, and that kind of makes me bring up this point that I know I'm kind of veering off your question, Ken, but I never understood why the Jedi's, when it comes to their wardrobe, they all look like they're from Tatooine or something. I don't understand.
Probably just like monks. They're like the monks. And
Right.
monks, if you have a stereotypical view of a monk, everybody, it's like orange robe and this and that. And I think the Jedi's they just kind of gravitate towards that.
They're more of a peaceful type of, more serene type of force. But I do remember seeing some Jedi's, especially like in the extended lore, like Rebels or whatever, that look pretty cool, man. And they have cool attire. Like, I just wish that they would kind of switch it up a little bit. I don't know. Maybe I'm in the minority, but I kind of want them to have like something really sleek and nice, you know?
I bet in the future they will. I do like the monk look because again, they are supposed to be like super peaceful. It's just like don't push them, you know,
Right.
don't, or maybe you can push them, but if you push someone else, the lightsaber comes out.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like I agree. Obi-Wan's my favorite Jedi because of that reason. He's very.
Asit Patel says it's a cult, which is kind of it's not like or even a cult or a company. Companies have wardrobe policies, and so do cults,
Well, I mean, like perfect example, Luke, Return of the Jedi. He's got like a really nice, sleek black robe that's like tight fitting, and he just looks really cool. I think that it kind of it definitely plays on the name Return of the Jedi because he's grown up a little bit, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he does. I just think just a simple change up in attire, I think would be.
You'll probably get that after Episode 9. I know for whatever reason Han Solo didn't do well, or Solo the movie, or didn't meet expectations financially.
It was a good movie though.
I heard it was. I haven't seen it again for whatever reason. I just have not found the interest. I think just more I think it's more of a time constraint. I got to be very like conscientious of my time now with kids, with the channel, with trying to play video games, with my actual job, and with Marvel movies. I got to be like, okay, some things are getting sacrificed. For whatever reason, I chose Star Wars, not on purpose. It happened that way. And then how it's like, you think you can't miss it. Like, there was no way 10 years ago I would have said to myself, I won't see Star Wars Episode 7. There's just no way I would have said that to myself. And then once you do it, though, if somehow, some way, happenstance happens and you miss one, you're like, my life continued on. I guess I don't have to watch all of that. And that's where I'm at right now. I one day I'm going to watch it, especially with, I'll have to watch it first. And there's an aspect of me also as a dad. I want to experience it with my kids. But Star Wars, especially in today's culture, I don't know if it's too much for my kids to watch. So it's like I might just be like, I'll just wait till they're 10 and I'll watch it with them. That way I know it'll be like age appropriate.
The only thing that I would say that would be like too much, if I'm understanding what you're saying, is maybe Rogue One, because it's not really like a Star Wars movie in the sense of like all of the rest of the 8 that we have out now.
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen Rogue One?
No, and honestly, that's the one I want to see the most.
That's a great movie.
Rogue One, I thought it was awesome, and the ending, if you haven't seen it, is just the bridge between Rogue One into 3.
Yeah,
so cool.
It is really cool.
Oh
yeah.
Man,
well, here one of the comments says, "Forced Unleashed video game was awesome attire." I agree, and that's kind of where my thing stems from, And you're right, Ken. I think outside of the Skywalker, excuse me, the Skywalker saga, it's a huge expanded universe. There's Jedis outside of the Skywalkers, right? So I think that's where we'll see some variation in attire for sure.
Yeah, especially coming up, because I think there's a EA game that's about to come out too. I bet that will be totally different. Huh?
It's called the Fallen Jedi or the Last Jedi or something like that.
I don't like this because it's kind of like, I don't know, it diminishes, in my opinion, the idea that all the Jedis were destroyed, but you're going to start seeing more and more of, oh yeah, this one Jedi escaped. Oh yeah, this one Jedi escaped. And that's kind of, I understand why they're doing it though, because, I mean, if you're going to be playing a Star Wars game, yeah, you either want to be the pilot of an X-Wing or you want to be a Jedi. So you kind of have to do this Jedi escaped the fall or whatever. So anyways.
That makes me miss Rogue Squadron.
Huh?
That makes me miss Rogue Squadron. For the
Yeah,
GameCube.
Rogue Squadron. I miss those days. Remember the days when you could have exclusive for consoles only because the GameCube can't do what the PlayStation does. So instead of giving us a bad port, they gave us a different game.
Very true.
And all this discussion got me to get out my lightsaber.
I was wondering what that sound was.
I was like, William, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Let's see it.
Lightsaber. Yeah.
I told you guys, don't mess with
But
William.
You can't really see the color that well on camera, though. It's actually blue.
Yeah, it looks like one of those fluorescent light bulbs that, like, in a very sterile building.
I want to get the replica of Kylo's though. I like that one a lot.
Mm-hmm. I love the hilt, the hilt and the guard for it.
Which would be a real pain to use, though.
Well, it's funny how he body slams one of his own, probably one of the Knights of Ren in the latest trailer, and it's funny because the guard is like kind of like piercing into his body because it's like there's three areas of danger in that lightsaber itself, and he just like clotheslines them.
Yeah, I never thought
that new trailer looked fantastic, especially that Palpatine laugh at the end. Oh boy.
Which yes, we know it's Palpatine, but it did sound like Mark Hamill doing the Joker voice.
It kind of did. That's why I was like, "What is Mark Hamill doing?"
Oh my gosh, I didn't think that.
Those who did not see the video feed of the live panel for that, right after they showed the trailer, Ian McDermott came out on stage. And everyone's cheering.
Wait a second, who's Ian McDermott?
He's the one who plays the Emperor.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And he was also in episodes 1, 2, and 3, playing Palpatine there too.
Yep. Which is really cool.
Yeah, so he comes out, and everyone's cheering, and he's laughing. He's just having a grand old time. And he brings the mic up to his mouth. He goes, "Roll it again," and the lights go down, and they play the trailer again.
You know what? That reminds me. Some dude was like, he watched the trailer. He went viral. He was crying over it, and then people were
some people making fun of him. And
people make fun of him, and I was like, I hope it's no one in this, because I hope it's no one in our channel, because let me tell you something. I freaked out. You can go through my channel. You'll see a lot of freakouts about Zelda things. And hey, you know what? If they had shown me a little more of Zelda in Breath of the Wild, I probably would have cried too.
Dude, I'm sorry. Your reaction to the Breath of the Wild for this thing was the best.
Yes.
If you were at E3 and they introduced a new Zelda and everyone in the audience is cheering, you'd start to cry. You would start to tear up.
It would be a heap on the floor.
That's the way people are when they're at conventions and there's a big panel and they introduce something.
Yep.
People get misty-eyed.
So
I got misty-eyed.
Yeah. And if you guys, huh?
No, I said go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt.
And if you guys were one of the ones, like, seriously, in the chat, you guys were, just try to put yourself in that dude's shoes. Because like I said, now I get a little more perspective now on myself because of this channel. Like I said, I was one of those toxic fans of Star Wars Episode 1. And I kind of feel like I wish I wasn't at this point. I wish I had never said some of the things I said. Not that I no longer feel the way I do feel about Episode 1. I still hate it. But I wish I wouldn't have been so toxic about it and just so, like, bitter. And so I feel this dude who was crying about Star Wars, it's like, he was happy. I mean, like, I would, if Miyamoto showed up right now, he just walks in, "Hey, Ken, you should," I would be in a ball, try not to cry, and then I would turn over and just tears would come out. I would be that meme. So I don't know why I thought that, though, for whatever reason.
Yeah, well, it's just evident that history repeats itself, man. Because we're seeing this through the social media lens. This poor guy's emotions have been scrutinized by social media and all the haters out there. But this happened 40 years ago too, whenever Star Wars first came out. But it was not in the forefront. There were bullies in high school. There were geeks and nerds like us, man, that were emotional about these kinds of things.
Yeah.
And it's just, this has always existed. It's not a new thing. It's just on a grander scale, and it doesn't make it it doesn't make it right by any means. It's just don't forget that this has happened for many, many years, and it just tells you that the prominent argument here is, bullying, man. It's just
it
putting
sucks.
people down. It's just hating. But it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen again, and it happened before. It's just cyclical, man. But you just got to be that positive light in the nerd sphere, and kind of I don't know, distinguish that a little bit.
But it's my thing is, like, once you're a fan, you're always a fan. Like, it's that kid that before Smash Ultimate came out, he wanted to play Smash, and Nintendo actually brought it to him.
Right.
So even his last dying wish, he wanted to play Smash Bros, and he got to do it. So
yeah, and don't tell me that dude didn't cry, but that's okay.
And that's fine, man. Like that's I'm glad that exists.
Because you look at all those, and you know what? For whatever reason, I'm sure most of our people wouldn't care, or they would be supported and understand it. I think a lot of the haters of that guy were more people from the outside looking in. Because, like, you see all the Smash reactions to when Splatoon Girl sees the logo, and you see people flipping out. But our circle, the video game circle, because that's a little cooler of a circle at this point in time, everybody was like, yeah, I totally feel what that guy was feeling. He expressed it. And I don't think those videos actually got out into the Kim Kardashian lands. You know what I mean? And for whatever reason, this Star Wars guy, his video did. So that's when the jocks of the world, and I'm not saying anything about playing sports is bad, I'm just saying from that stereotypical nerd versus jocks point of view, the cool kids,
the dude bro people,
those are the ones that actually, they were like, wait a second, because if those same people who are making fun of the Star Wars crying guy, I bet if they had seen my reaction to Link to the Past or Zelda VR, I would have been the dude who never got a girlfriend in life. You know what I mean?
They're not used to. This is one of those reactions that slip through the cracks into the other part of Twitter, essentially.
Yeah.
Because if they reacted that way to this guy's emotional reaction, then they're just not familiar with reaction videos on YouTube, man. Like,
yeah, pretty much.
So many videos. This is when I watched the video of him crying, I'm like, this is just normal. Mm-hmm. I've seen people.
This is a fan excited for something that he enjoys and loves.
I've seen, for just to something I relate to, Smash reactions. I've seen people break things in excitement and be so elated, and so this is not anything different in my eyes. Like, it's just one of those things that like when you have your cliques at school, it's one of those things where, like, one person of this clique wants to share this swing set with another person of this clique, and there's some type of confrontation. It's just it was one of those things that unfortunately just happened, and we just gotta I say don't pay any mind to it, as far as like, hey, stand behind your beliefs, be strong, and just know the integrity of your community, but also stand up to bullies, definitely. But it's just like, hey man, just like people always say, ignore the haters, dude. Like, that's just
so. It's easy to say that, but sometimes it can be hard.
No, I know, and especially in the social media lens. But I just what I'm trying to say is everyone just remember, in moments like this, just stick together.
Yeah,
especially in the community.
There was an example of that at the episode 9 panel. Kelly Marie Tran was prior to Celebration. I think this last year, she was attacked on social media, hated on. She plays Rose in episode 8. For those who don't know, but she was insulted and attacked so much she left social media.
Wait, is she the Asian girl?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So she came out when they introduced the cast for episode 9, and everyone's coming out on stage. They're introducing everyone, and they get to her name, and the crowd just erupted in cheers.
Good.
And
that's good.
Yeah, and the outpouring of love for her, she started to cry.
Yeah, I could see that. I do feel bad for her because I even though I haven't watched episode 8, I saw a lot of the hate towards her. And for Jar Jar Binks, the dude who played Jar Jar Binks, he can at least hide behind the he can choose to say I played Jar Jar Binks, or he can choose to say I didn't. He could hide behind.
Did you hear about what went on with him?
No.
Oh yeah, no.
He was hated on. He was hated on so much he almost committed suicide.
Yeah, that I didn't like that. Like
that sucks. You know what? Because I would have.
He's come back to the fandom, and people have embraced him as well.
Well, that makes me feel even double bad because I've said a very lot of bad things about Jar Jar Binks on.
Well, you don't have to like Jar Jar Binks.
Yeah,
but it was the people directly going after him.
I never did that.
Daisy Ridley also left social media as well.
Yeah,
she was prominently on Instagram, and I'm sure she just got a bunch of hate messages, and she just left social media altogether. John Boyega, who plays Finn, got in an argument yesterday on his Instagram post, and I was reading it, and I saw it when it happened, and just it's hard to avoid. It's hard to avoid hatred, and it's hard to.
And he's a
ignore
fantastic person. He is the way in the Marvel universe, the actors are like going to the children's hospitals and stuff like that. He's that for the Star Wars universe right now.
Hey,
he loves the community.
Hey, real quick, Social Game says he's going to create an arena if anybody wants to play Smash. So Social Games, you might want to put your friend code down there if you want to do that, so people can like.
I'm going to be out of here right after the podcast because I have friends coming over.
Oh yeah, cool.
But,
well, you know,
Ken, I wanted to jump in, like, kind of on the topic that we were just saying. Let's say, like, if you had Miyamoto, for example, come into your house and just talk to you, who would be your guys? Like, I'm asking this to everybody. That one person that you would just be in awe to see in real life. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I've seen so many people.
Sakurai.
Well, we know that.
Okay, then who would be the one that would put you in awe?
Well, for me, if I'm talking about like actor or something, it would probably be Ryan Reynolds because of Deadpool.
Really? Okay. I don't know who actor I would. Here's the thing with me. Like I would almost, if I saw Ryan Reynolds, I'd be most likely very cool and collective around him, right? But when it came to Miyamoto, Reggie, Sakurai,
Bowser.
I don't know about Bowser right now, actually. It's like Reggie? I haven't formed some kind of like emotional bond with them. But those three I have, even though it's not reciprocated, I understand, right? And I'm not trying to be like I'm gonna go stalk them, but there is some kind of emotional bond, and I can relate this. And a lot of people like the normal people of the world, it would be like a sports star for them, like LeBron James or something like that. Or and I do this with wrestlers as well. Wrestlers, I would freak out, totally lose my mind if I saw The Undertaker in real life. But if I saw, I don't know, Robert Downey Jr. in real life, I would probably treat him very normal. I'd be like, oh wow, cool. I would try to in my head consciously don't bring up Iron Man, don't bring up Iron Man. but other than that, I would be like, what's it like, like working these kind of schedules that you do? How is like a movie like? I would just be more curious than anything. But I can say for a fact that I would lose my mind if I saw certain people, because I have done that. There was one time I actually came across one of these people I would lose my mind towards, and I was that guy. it was Mankind. Do you know Mankind or Mick Foley?
I know the names, yeah.
During the Attitude Era, he was a pretty big deal. He goes by Dude Love, Mankind, Mick Foley is his actual name, or Cactus Jack. And
that name I know too, yeah.
I will be in AEW in the face of...
You'd be in awe.
Kojima? Oh, I would be.
Hideo Kojima.
So anyways, if you guys don't mind me telling the story, I'll tell it real quick. So I'm at the Joe Louis Arena. That's Detroit's, where we have all our sports events or hockey and stuff. And that's where the wrestlers always came. And I was at a Sunday Night Heat taping, Monday Night Raw, whatever you want to call it, but it was Sunday Night Heat. And I'm walking down the hallway, and suddenly I start seeing people. They start turning their heads and they're whispering, and I'm like, why are they whispering? There's only one reason they could be doing this. There must be somebody. So I'm like, what's going on, to somebody? And they're like, Mankind just walked that way. I'm like, and Mankind was my favorite guy at the time, and he's one of my top 5 of all time. I'm like, what? Mankind? And I literally just booked it down the hall to find him. And then suddenly there is a gaggle of people around the bathroom. Guys, don't do this. This is very disrespectful, what I did. Very disrespectful. I did it, though. I am sorry. I wish I could one day meet him again and say, I am so sorry for what I did. This is the only reason why I might not lose my mind again, because I already did it one time. They were like, he's in the bathroom. And I could say, everybody was like, should we go in and say hi? Should we not? They were worried. I didn't worry. I ran in the bathroom. I ran in the bathroom, and there he is, taking a leak in. And it's not even, the Joe Lou doesn't even have urinals. It has tubs, all right? This is a filthy, filthy place.
I know ones like that.
It has tubs. And I am there, and I'm like, oh my God! it's Mankind! And he turns his head, and he looks at me. He's like, "Yeah, it's me." And I'm like, "Can I just wait here?" He's like,
I think I've mentioned one of the guys that I know from Star Wars Celebration. He went and used one of the restrooms he wasn't supposed to be using because it was for the special guests and all that. He's like, "As soon as somebody comes in here, I'm in trouble."
Yeah, well,
someone comes in. So someone comes in and he's like, yeah, sure enough, I'm going to be in trouble. And the person that goes and stands next to him to use the urinal is Ray Park.
Oh, nice. Well, wait. I got to finish the story, because if I start telling the story, I got to finish the story.
Go ahead.
So, unless it's boring, you guys, is it?
No, go ahead.
Okay, so I'm like, I'm just going to stand here. And she was like, all right. And Mankind, let me tell you, Mick Foley is such a down-to-earth guy. I knew this going in, and I knew this now, but for whatever reason, and I'm like, and in my head, I'm like, you are making a complete fool of yourself, because there's a couple people there even, and they don't know what to do, but I'm the one fanboying out, and being like, the total guy you should not be. I was him. So he gets done. The moment he like, zips up his pants, I'm like, can I shake your hand? And he's like, hey, let me wash them first. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's totally cool. You can wash your hands. So like, now I'm giving him permission to wash his hands. And he's like, he washes his hands. And then the moment he's done, I'm like, now can I shake your hand? And like, I didn't let him even like breathe. And then he shakes my hand, and there's this other guy who wants to take a picture. And he's like, can I take a picture of you? And I'm like, oh yeah, of course. I think my dog wants out. But I step aside, and then he's like, do you want me to put someone in the mandible claw? The mandible claw is taking these 2 fingers, just like this, and shoving it down someone's throat. And, that makes people tap out because, you got, and then he's like, do you want me to put someone in the mandible claw? And the guy was like, oh yeah, that would be great. The guy who's taking the picture. And then he looks around to ask who wants to be in the claw. And I'm trying so hard not to be like, oh, do it to me, but I'm like this. And he's like, come on. And I'm like, ah! I run to him, and this dude just went to the bathroom. Now, this is not OCD Ken. OCD, germophobia, I take happy pills, Ken. That was, I got that at 31, all right? I didn't go crazy until I was 31. This is when I'm like 18, all right? Like 18, 21. I'm an adult, so I shouldn't be acting like this, but I'm not crazy yet. And so here we go. I got Mankind in the Joe Louis Arena with their tubs of urine sticking his fingers down my throat. It was the happiest day of my life. So I know for a fact. And then I've met some celebrities before. I don't know why this stuff happens. I'm not hanging out in bathrooms a lot, but for some reason, the doctor of Voyager, Star Trek Voyager, I took a leak right next to him, and I was just like, hey, so certain people I won't freak out about, but certain people lose my mind. Can't control myself. Yeah, Cactus Lab, Dude Love. So that's my story. Like, if Miyamoto, the only way I could just keep my mind together is if I really think back to Mankind. Don't do that again. So there's my story.
That's no, funny. I think if I met Miyamoto, I would most likely be one to bow. Be polite, bow.
I wish I could say I would do that. Now, if I knew it was coming, like if Miyamoto called me up and was like, hey, Ken, we're looking for a really small YouTuber to interview me, then I would, but if he just showed up, then it's different. You know what I mean?
I'd also need to know ahead of time what's the appropriate bow for someone like that. How low do you go with the bow? Because there are various stages of a bow for different.
You know what I would do? If I were to run into him and I had to think really quick, I would try to think, how do they bow on the Nintendo Direct, and then I would just go a little lower. Mm-hmm. Because I bet they are bowing to us in a very respectful manner. Mm-hmm. So I would say
somebody from England, like a celebrity from England. I would most likely the hand and bow. Mm-hmm.
Hey guys, I need to go let my dog out. So David, come up with what are you thinking over there?
Oh, I was just going to talk more about bowing.
Oh, okay. Talk about bowing and talk about what are everybody come up with one question you would ask Sakurai.
So there's also a variation of bowing, like William said, and sometimes when people have already been together in a room, mm-hmm. and they've already talked to each other and like in a Nintendo Direct, and they introduce themselves for the cameras, they still bow. But it's a half bow, essentially. It's just kind of I've already acknowledged you, but how's it going again, mm-hmm. So that's something that I've noticed, and I'd probably bow too, just because it's a sign of respect. You're probably in Japan if you're meeting Miyamoto.
Or if he's over at E3 or something.
Right, so... And even here in America, I'd still bow to him. It's just, yeah. I feel like it's the right thing to do. But that would be pretty cool to meet him.
And for somebody like that to know that somebody who's not part of the culture knows what to do as well, it's probably also something that'd be more respect to a person.
Definitely. Yeah. But there's just a random thing. When we were talking about earlier, what is our Zelda? For me, it's like I said, it's all of Nintendo stuff. I gotten into trying to find all of these things, and I can't find Peach or Toad.
Oh, I can't remember if I've even put any of those out at work.
If you find Peach or Toad, let me know, because I can't find them.
These are official Hot Wheels?
Yeah, they're straight up normal, official Hot Wheels. They're called the character cars.
I've seen that, and I think it's kind of weird that Mario's skin is stretched around the car.
Well, both Luigi and they're both the same design of the car.
That's funny.
But I just recently gotten into finding these. I found pretty much all of them except for Toad and Princess Peach. So I picked all of them up. But yeah, that's what I was saying. It's just pretty much all of Nintendo in general, but I've always loved Luigi.
Did you... I'm sorry, William. Go ahead.
Oh, I say the figures for the Monopoly Gamer Mario Kart Edition. I found a box of those. They were on clearance, all half off. the only character they didn't have in there, and that was the character I was looking for, was Bowser.
I didn't get Monopoly Gamer. I wanted to because I wanted the special edition with the white box.
I have that over here.
But I'm being like money, like I don't want to spend the $30 on it because I have various other versions of Monopoly right now. I'm waiting for it to hit a clearance shelf. I'm
First world problems.
I can't get to it right now. Remind me on the next episode.
Problems, Ken.
Yeah, remind me on the next episode. I'll get that out. But I also have all the figures in there as well. It's got a space for all the other figures.
Oh, that's
hey, it's Raquel. It's Raquel. What's up, Raquel?
Yes, finally.
I was talking about you. I was talking about you, Raquel. Not in a creepy way. In the beginning of the podcast, we're going to be moving to Thursday nights after this. And EPS, I saw that you were leaving. See you later. Also, guys, I've been like talking a lot or like reminiscing. So if there's anybody in the chat that had a question for me directly or anything, and I didn't answer it, can you just restate it or whatever if you really want it known? Something about this channel is you ask something and we try to get to it as hard as we can, and sometimes stuff slips through the cracks. So I apologize if there's something that you want known or said or repeated. Say it again.
Ken, I didn't know if this was something that you've already elaborated on, but the Switch Mini leak. Can we go into that?
Yeah,
well,
let's do it.
Before we get into that, I want to talk about Devin's scratch on his forehead. Can you tell us a little story about that?
No, dude, I had a really bad day.
Especially now that Raquel's here.
Well, wait a second. Actually, no, we better not. Only because I would love to hear about it, but honestly, I know that you got a scratch from your work, and something like this, if you talk bad about your work on camera or you say something you shouldn't, it could jeopardize your career. So I'm going to say
it's not even that. It's not bad about it's just a couple of my residents, I was in my dementia unit, so I got a little too close. Essentially, that's all it really was.
Okay, yeah, I just want to be very careful that we don't jeopardize our jobs. But yeah, I would love to talk about it off air or something, just something that won't be on the internet forever.
And Raquel knows what I'm talking about too, so we're just gonna leave it at that.
Yeah, because I'm all about making Devin uncomfortable, but I don't want to make him lose his job.
And my wife works in an assisted living place, so she probably knows a bit too.
Yeah.
Not that sort of work. She does housekeeping.
It's similar, but close enough.
So let's jump into the mini leaks. So what do you guys know about it, Devin?
All I saw was your video and the picture of that back of that cool blue color, and it looks like it's all one unit. I like the color. I like the idea of it, but I don't know much else about it. Well,
I'm sorry to break it to you. That was most likely a fake. In fact, a lot of people think it's a fake, and there's a lot of reasons. I would say one of the best breakdowns of why it's a fake is from Spawn Wave. So if you guys really want, I felt like I did a terrible job, actually. Sometimes one of the problems with doing my news events live is sometimes I fumble, and sometimes if you fumble, you lose the ball, and I felt that video was very bad on my part. So I would just send people to Spawn Wave, actually, to check that out. I think he did a very good breakdown. I can do things that he can't do, like live things, but sometimes there's a benefit of not doing it live. And sometimes it's fun to watch a train wreck. So watch me live so you can either get like really good news or a train wreck. One of the two. I promise you'll be entertained at least. But
my thing is, like, I saw some articles online that were saying that it's definitely coming out by fall time, so that's why I'm skeptical about it now.
The articles, someone can jump in if you know more about it, but the article's saying that it's definitely coming out. Right. Here's where we stand. Last year, Wall Street of Japan leaked that that a new model Switch was coming out. So everybody started speculating: is it going to be a Pro or is it going to be a Mini? A Mini being a lesser version. Think you got your 3DS, then you have your 3DS new 3DS XL, or you have your 2DS. 2DS not having all the features, but cheaper and more, accessible for children. And your XL being, just, I don't know, another joystick, just look just better. And then this year happened, and the rumors started up again. Because Nintendo was like, we have nothing to say at this time, which is very, very political and what you should say, because you don't want people to stop buying your current Switch. It's Christmas. Don't not buy our stuff, because you can wait a year for something better. And then this year it started coming out that there's going to be 2 versions. And then Wall Street of America, I believe, started reporting this. And it started getting reported because they started looking at Nirvana, which does is part of the chip process. And that's how some of these leaks are getting out. Not necessarily through Nintendo, but through the people who have to make parts for Nintendo, because Nintendo is not making the computer chip. You know what I mean? They make the games that go on the computer chips. So these companies who maybe aren't as like tight-lipped, they let stuff get out. And then they, hey, it's Calf. What's up, Calf? From Tucson, Arizona? Tucson, Arizona. So anyways, they aren't as tight-lipped. And so now there's like a Pro and a Mini. They're definitely coming out. But now they're saying the Pro has been pushed back, but the Mini is definitely still coming out by the end of this year. But from everything I've read, from everything I've heard, there's still nothing necessarily saying, I don't see why they're saying it's coming out definitely this year, other than sources. And that's the new thing to do. Whether it's real news, CNN, Fox, MSN, they say, I have sources. And what are these sources? Because we had sources that there was going to be a Nintendo Direct on April 11th. What was the source? gaminginfo.com, and everybody was even like, yeah, that site's it's wrong. And yet the hype, it just kept building and building and building, right? It built so much that I was able to get 78,000 people to watch a parody Nintendo Direct because of sources. So is that Nintendo Mini coming? Probably. Yeah, it probably is happening, because you can just look at history and see that Nintendo will do a smaller version of a handheld. But I don't necessarily believe these sources. I believe in history. I don't believe in sources. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
I get it.
And that picture that I posted was what was it, teal? Was it teal, blue? I don't know. Baby blue? Teal's green, so I don't know. I'm not really great with colors.
I'm not great with colors either. I wouldn't be able to tell you what color it was.
Yeah, it's weird.
That's like a teal color. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say it was probably more in the teal.
I barely even saw the leaks, so.
Yeah, and
I didn't see anything. If it wasn't for your video, I wouldn't have noticed it.
Yeah, so maybe I'm part of the problem, and I say that, I mean, it just is what it is, in the leaks and stuff, but, so somebody had we'll just say teal. It was teal, back of a Switch Mini, and there was a rainbow on it, so they put some kind of like Instagram filter, and it got out. It was on a Chinese website, and which would make sense because a lot of these parts are from China. And then people started dissecting it, and one of the things that was wrong with it was it had the same it had like the same model number on it. So the HAC-001. If this was a quote unquote new Switch, it should have had a different kind of model number or something on it. So there was a lot of things wrong with it. I would say though that it's probably going to it looks like the Switch would, a Mini would, but there's a high chance that it was probably just some kind of like third party. Maybe they were just kind of speculating and starting to 3D print some stuff like prototypes for it. But that itself, I'm thinking, and everybody seems to be the consensus, whether it's Overthink Gaming or Spawnwave and myself, like we're all kind of under the consensus that this was a fake. Does that all make sense?
Yeah.
Does that explain it? Is there any more explanation needed on that?
Man, you did a great job running through it all there.
Now, I wish I would have explained it like that a couple nights ago, because like I said, I think that video sucked that I did a couple nights ago. But again, whatever.
No, it just shows that the teal could possibly be, if let's just say this was real, it could also mean that we could get variation of colors similar to like an iPhone C 5C, where it's like it's the tier below an iPhone, whatever current model is out there, and it's geared more towards like younger people, or maybe more with like just primitive features, and it features like 4 different colors. We could have something like that where there's like a teal one, a yellow one, a coral one, and maybe like a white one or something like that.
Coral. I can't help it. My wife's new phone is coral colored, and I kept going, coral.
What is coral color? What is coral?
Coral is like a pinkish kind of salmon color.
Is that how we're trying to get the guys to buy it? Not call it pink?
No, it's a reference to Walking Dead.
There's not, and then the llamas and party hats.
I don't know about that.
Coral.
Yeah.
I just know about Rick calling his son Carl every time on the show.
And then coral. He
has a strong Southern drawl to his voice, so it's been memed over time. But anyway, so yeah, the teal could also be like a placeholder shell, kind of like in pre-production. You'll see like a color that's not gonna be like, kind of like if you look at the Wii U development kits or the Wii development kits. They're a different color. The injection molding is very different, probably because it hasn't been actually properly painted. Painted is towards the end of production. So this is just entertaining the idea if it was real. So
if Nintendo wants to sell like 100 million Switches, that's what they got to do. They got to just start like doing different colors and stuff, because there are console collectors out there. I'm not saying it's right or wrong, because I have no room to say, like, why would you collect consoles? It's like, look at all this Zelda crap I have, so I can't, like, speak on stuff like that. But if you want to sell 100 million Switches, different colors, it's an easy way to make people buy 5 different Switches.
Well, my thing is, like, the colors are all well and good, but if they made, like, themed ones, kind of like they have the 2DS that has the Hylian shield on it.
Oh, yeah.
I would definitely buy that up.
I have, like, let me see, like 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 4 DSs, 3DSs, just because they're 4 different Zelda 3DSs, And
I have
I got them sealed.
One. I have my 3DS that has the Metroid on it, and then the Hylian shield one.
What, okay, let's pretend, let me ask you guys this. Let's pretend you have, there's a Switch Pro, right? You get the Switch Pro. And then they come out with a Switch Mini. Would you get the Switch Mini if you got the Switch Pro?
For me, it depends on, like I said, if they had a themed console.
Let's pretend there's no themed console. Would you just get a standard Switch Mini if they had a Switch Pro?
Probably not, no.
I'm probably picking it up because Margot wants her own Switch.
Okay.
So I'm likely picking one up.
So you would pick up a Switch Mini also. Wouldn't you just give her your standard Switch, though, and not the Switch Pro, because you bought a Switch Pro for yourself?
No, because I would most likely be using my original one because I prefer to play it on the TV.
So the Switch Pro would be your handheld, and then the original would be your TV one?
The mini one would be hers, basically.
Okay, so you wouldn't buy a Switch Pro. You would just keep your standard and then give her the mini.
I would keep my standard, give that one to her. They'd both be in the same house.
Gotcha. Okay. Would you buy a Switch Mini if you had a Switch Pro? David?
No.
No. Okay. Now let me ask you, what character would make you then buy a Switch Mini?
What character?
Yeah, what theme would it take for you to buy? And Zelda is not, you can't do Zelda. Because for me, Zelda, for sure, yes. But what character would make you buy a Switch Mini? Like, would it be a Smash Brothers? Like, suddenly they do a Smash Brothers Mini. Would you buy just another... Would you buy a Switch Mini solely for the variant or the cover art or whatever?
This is a good question, actually, because I didn't have a 3DS for a long time after it got stolen when the year it came out. But when they announced in Japan in 2014 that they were going to make a new 3DS with that extra thumbstick and interchangeable faceplates, I wanted that so bad, and it took I think it took 2 years for it to come to the U.S. So if they made a Switch Mini that was more cute, more kawaii, right?
Kawaii?
Kawaii is cute in Japanese.
Oh, okay.
And so the form factor is smaller, and it works better for me. I think I would like it if it was like a Kirby design. If it was pink or something like that, I would be on board. Definitely.
Coral, you mean? Coral?
The analog sticks to the cheeks.
Yeah, that would be amazing.
That would be really cool, actually.
That would be amazing. Yeah.
Okay, so a Kirby Mini might get you to jump into the mini realm.
Oh yeah. I'm a sucker for that.
Devin, if it wasn't Luigi, what would get you to buy a mini?
Well, I was just trying to think about that. William, go on to yours, because I'm trying to think of the idea, because I knew you were going to say that.
Oh, for if there was a design one that...
Yeah, that would make you just, like, say you bought a mini for Margot already, so now you're already a 2-Switch household, and then a year later, they drop a Mega Man mini or a whatever. What would it be the character that say, you know what, I'm gonna drop another $200 just for this design?
Katamari Damacy, William.
Yeah.
That would be interesting. I think
That
it would
would
have
be
to
a
come
cool
down
one.
to what the design is.
But what would it be for you?
Like, I would get a Mega Man one, but if it didn't look that good, I probably wouldn't pick it up.
What if
The
it was
design would
metallic
have to-
blue, and it looked like his helmet?
That would be cool.
Most likely.
Yeah, okay.
Or if they went for one of the other colors. with
Okay.
them, I guess.
What
they-
if for some reason they wanted to do like Zero? Would you do that?
I don't know about Zero because
Or
that's
Base?
X series. Base would probably go to my wife
Base.
or
Nice.
Proto Man would
What-
go to her.
I'm not a crazy big Mega Man fan, but I've always liked Base's design,
Yeah, he's got a great design.
and he's in Smash Brothers Ultimate now. That's pretty awesome.
For me, it would literally have to be something Zelda. Like there literally is nothing else. It's Smash Brothers also, but I would go as far as say this though. If it was like Mario Kart and it had Link even a little bit in it, that would be enough for me. Just the box, not even the mini itself. That's how stupid I am. And stupid in a collector way. We're all a little like crazy, and that's how obsessed I am with Zelda, that even if just the box had it, I would find a way. I would skip a meal or two, me, not my kids, me, to pay for that. But I can say for a fact it wouldn't be anything else, because I've been like, oh wow, that Pikachu 3DS looks really cool, but nah, I better not. Other franchises, Mario Kart, I'm like, ooh, I like that, but nah, I better not. Splatoon, I like that, but nah, better not.
For me, I think it would probably never happen. But if they had something based around Game & Watch, I think it would be really cool, because they would. I would think they would try to go towards one of the old retro styles of the Game & Watch handheld things. I think it would look really neat.
See, I thought for the 3DS they would at least do some sort of Game & Watch compilation and use both screens. But
They did
never
have Game & Watch games.
Yeah, but they never released anything on a physical cartridge.
I think that would be
systems.
cool.
They did the gallery ones, the gallery collections.
Oh, that's what I was about to bring up. So,
But, Ken, can I jump?
those were
into the
DS,
last
not
thing?
3DS. Okay, I gotcha. What?
But there was one last thing that I wanted to bring up about the Switch Mini. I don't know if they still did it, but in Japan, when the Switch first came out, I think they had this website that you could go to order a Switch with customized specific Joy-Con colors.
Yeah.
What if they did that, kind of like Xbox is doing it with their controllers, where you can order a customized controller, where you could go to the website and say, I want a Switch Mini in this color with these buttons and all that stuff, and have it be completely customizable.
Easily would be like $100, but I would buy it. Sure.
I would do that, because then you could have any plethora of colors and all kinds of stuff. I think that would be cool.
Because a Switch Joy-Con right now is what? For a pair is $79.99.
But at Walmart, they're $69 for some reason. I'm not really sure why, but yeah,
Thanks.
normally MSRP is $79.
Thanks for the tip. I'll have to check that out.
Actually, hold off. What's today? The 19th, right?
Yes.
The 20th.
Then
yeah.
actually,
Unfortunately.
is it 420? Is it Earth
Yeah,
Day? Is
unfortunately.
today Earth Day?
22nd is Earth Day.
Okay, because I believe Amazon's going to have a sale on Pro controllers or Joy-Cons for $50 on Earth Day. So hold off.
For April 23rd.
Okay, so hold off till
I'm wondering
buy.
if that's going to count to the left green and right pink. I still need that set.
I don't know. For whatever, to answer your question, I don't think I would. Unless it's official Zelda, I don't think I would go for it. For whatever reason, I know there's a lot of Joy-Con controller collectors like you, Devin, and EPS 5000, but for whatever reason, that doesn't interest me. I don't know why. It just doesn't interest me.
I don't even completely understand why it interests me. I just like the customizable colors. I just
Yeah, and
like,
even Glenn is saying he wants more variety of colors on the Joy-Cons, and I don't know why. It seems like something that maybe it's because like me and Williams, where we don't like color doesn't like. I'm not colorblind, but I know for a fact, based on conversations I had with people, color is not a thing that like I often get it wrong. I don't see things as vibrant as others maybe. So I don't. Maybe that's why I don't really care about controllers.
Yeah. But yeah, if they were to have a theme, I would have to like say I keep bringing that up. The Hylian Shield 2DS, the detail on that one would have to be on that Switch Mini for me to go into it. Not specifically Zelda, but just the overall detail that they put into that console itself.
Miyamoto could hand out gray Switches and say, "Oh, this is a Zelda Switch," and then everybody could be like, There's nothing Zelda related to it. He's like, yeah, but it's still a Zelda Switch. I would consider that a Zelda Switch, and I would buy it. That's how.
Yeah. He could draw it with a Sharpie. Here's a Triforce.
Yeah. That would be enough for me. And he said
it's been autographed by him. So
and yeah, that would count. And then he could say it's going to cost double. Why? Just because I would pay.
True.
I'm not gonna like sit here and say I'm not gonna do that stuff. You know, people be like, $20. I'm not gonna pay that, and then they secretly do. No, I would do it.
Very true.
All right, so oh, by the way, William, did you talk to Nick about in television games?
He mentioned it. I'm gonna be messaging him.
Yeah, dude. Nick Clayton in the chat, he got himself his grandpa like had a stash, you know, like one of those attic finds. His grandpa had a stash of in television games. He doesn't have the volleyball game. I made him look it up. But he does have like Masters of the Universe, and so he does have some like $100 games he has like $100 games and some $5 games and television games, box and everything. What's in the television game, guys? It's the system that came out before Nintendo. It's not from Nintendo, even though there are Mario games on television, correct?
Donkey Kong.
Yeah, there's a Donkey Kong. It's not a very good copy of it. If you want a good Donkey Kong for the Intellivision, there's a version called D2K. It's a homebrew version, and it's fantastic.
Oh yeah, okay. And so anyways, yeah, get with him because it's a really cool collection.
I just messaged him right now.
Yeah, myself personally, I'm not an Intellivision fan, but I'll tell you what, I probably would be if like I went into an attic and found 100 Intellivision games. I'll tell you that much.
And I have one Intellivision game down here I can show, but I can't show parts of it because it's not safe for this podcast.
I'll just put your hand over it, I guess, unless it's.
Well, it's a dual cover, but let me grab it. Hold on, it's on the bottom of the shelf.
All right, well, you know what's safe, so I trust you. Okay, was it Asip Patel? He brought up a good point of China. Nintendo's about to break into the China market, it seems like. They've been approved to sell Switches. Now, there are ways that China has been getting Switches, like you can sell it in Hong Kong, and then you can kind of like sneak it over to mainland China, because Hong Kong is like an island, and so there are ways that the Chinese have been getting Switches, but now it's been kind of sort of approved. There's still one more giant hurdle to jump, but the biggest one has been done. So that's going to be big because Nintendo just adds like 1 billion people, 1 billion potential buyers, and the Switch is already selling like it is. And Asians, we love our portable gaming systems. Let me tell you something. And I think Nintendo's about to. If you don't have Nintendo stock, I've said this in the past. Don't really come to me for stock advice. Don't come to a video gamer to talk about stocks. But I'm telling you, go look at Nintendo stocks.
All right, so I got it out. So there's a story behind it. There's a game on the Intellivision called Astro Smash. It's a fantastic game that was kind of like their solution to everybody going after asteroids on the Atari. So instead of the ship in the middle, being able to turn it, going around and shooting all the stuff, you're down at the bottom. Yeah, you're down at the bottom and you're shooting upward instead.
Okay.
So they were working on the Tron Solar Sailor game, and it's one of the games that talks. So the synthesized voice was saying, I think it was saying, I can't do that. And one of the programmers said, can't sounded like something else.
Oh, yeah, okay.
That I can't say on the show, and I don't say in. So to prove that it did sound like that, because the other person was like, no, it doesn't sound like that at all. They then put it into the opening for all the games for the IntelliVoice. It says Mattel Electronics presents, and then if it's Bomb Squad, it would go Bomb Squad. So they took Space Spartans, took Spartans out, and put can't in there. So it just kept repeating space can't.
Yeah.
So somebody then went and made a version of Smash where they replaced all of the stuff in it to be perverted. So I can't show the other side of the game, but this side says space can't.
Yeah.
And you can display that side, or you can display the other side.
Oh gosh. You got a little too much on television.
In case you can see it, I'll cover up my finger, but that's the cover for it.
Yeah, you got a little too much television there. We got to have an intervention on William.
This is a homebrew. That somebody
I
made.
hope so.
They made a box for it. Oh yeah, this wasn't officially released. But
hey guys,
the fact that they got it released like this is fantastic.
Did you know it's Lucina's birthday today? Speaking of Fire Emblem, earlier we were talking Fire Emblem. Lucina Awakenings. She's in Awakenings, right? Yeah, that's Awakenings. Is she?
News to me.
I'm not sure.
I don't really play a lot of Fire Emblem.
Did you guys? Here's something. Let's speculate on Retro Studios, what they've been up to. Did you see the picture, the Reggie picture on his desk?
I saw that, but I didn't really look a lot into it.
Okay, so there's Reggie's leaving. It's his last day. He creates Twitter, and he trolls the internet one last time. And there's a picture sent by Retro Studios. Retro Studios is the studios behind Tropical Freeze and Metroid Prime. Not Metroid Federation Force, Metroid Prime. Now, what happens is they send a picture of, it's a caricature, not really a caricature, but it's like maybe a colored pencil still drawing of Reggie. And then it's like, thanks for playing. And it has Donkey Kong, Diddy Kong, Dixie Kong, Samus. And they're all like with him, they're like side by side with Reggie. And then there is one more character, but you can't see him because conveniently there's a Mario statue. So they're not part of the drawing, an actual statue in front of that character that was also included in the picture. And all you can see of this character is a robotic hand, and I don't know if it's a robotic face or something like that. Not the whole face, but like the jaw or the shoulder. I don't know exactly what part it is. But so there's one more character that Retro Studios included in this picture, and Reggie did not. He purposely put a Mario statue in front of it. So, what do you think? What do you think about that? Do you think Reggie is trolling us? Do you think there's an unknown Retro Studios IP out there? Because haven't been doing anything since they did Tropical Freeze to the Switch. I'm not sure if they did Tropical Freeze on the Wii U, but even if they did that, since Prime, they really haven't been doing anything, or have they? What do you guys think?
It's a possibility.
I definitely think it's a possibility, but now that looking at the picture and the placement of where Samus is and where that arm is sticking out, it doesn't really make sense that there could be a character behind Mario. Like, I don't see it.
You don't
just
see
looks
it?
like a floating hand. I see the hand. I'm just saying it doesn't look like there's enough space for an entire character to be standing behind Mario.
I mean, what if it was Chibi Robo?
Chibi Robo doesn't have hands like that.
Well, I'm just saying,
claws.
Chibi Robo is very small, so it can be just a small character.
Okay.
Hey,
All right.
real quick, I just want to say, hey, Peter Griffin, I know you're just kind of trolling us and whatever, but I just want you to know that I'm recognizing you, and that's all a troll really wants. So here I am recognizing you. I challenge you to actually participate, though, in the conversation. You might have yourself a good time. Anyways, what were you saying, David? Oh, yeah, I totally agree with you, David. Totally agree with you. You're making some very valid points right now, David.
Boys.
What, David? You don't think you'll ever win the belt? Yeah, I don't think you'll win the belt either, David. Yeah, David, great point. You are making some solid there points. I love what you just said.
But the fact that he's laughing. Come on, David, we can't hear you.
Yes, David. Wait, say that again? I'm a big stupid face.
Yes, yes.
Say it
last
again,
go
David.
Was very difficult to defeat.
I will never win it. That belt.
Oh.
What, David? I'll never win at Smash Brothers. Yes, I agree with you. Yes, Ken, you are the best. David, we can't hear you. You're on mute.
I didn't know that.
That was awesome.
See?
Glad to be back. No wonder. I've been talking here and there, and I was like, wow, no one's hearing me. Okay, cool.
I was wondering why you were so quiet. So, whenever you were talking, I started. That's why I was saying, I'll never beat you.
I did hear that, but I was like, why did he bring up Smash out of nowhere and telling me that I'm never gonna win in Smash? That's why I was laughing. I said, okay, so let me go back to point zero. You said Chibi Robo.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, what about Custom Robo?
Okay, Custom Robo.
Yeah.
And then then all of a sudden I hear Ken say, I'm never gonna win in Smash again. And I was like, where did that come from? So yeah, but
Ken, make a note for this episode that's in there for the blooper reel.
Oh, yes, there we go.
Yeah.
I need to start actually making notes because sometimes I try to find something. Next week I want to do a best of since we're going to be moving to Thursday, so we have something on Saturday. So Custom Robo, what is that? Is that a Metroid or a Retro Studios?
I can't tell you what studio it is. It's been a minute. William probably knows, but it's a franchise that deserves a lot better.
Yeah, but
It was a really cool game.
It was good.
What I'm thinking though,
It's developed by Noise and published by Nintendo.
so then it would not can be considered if Retro Studios was doing these are our IPs, then Custom Robo would not be it. Just like Chibi Robo wouldn't be it. So what is this? What is this? What is it? What could it be? David thinks it can't be any, or not David. Devin thinks it can't be anything. He thinks it's.
I'm not.
He
saying
thinks it's
that
just a
it
floating
can't be.
hand.
It
Devin
just
says it's a
doesn't
floating
look
hand.
right.
People, breaking news. Devin.
And the company looks like it's a second party to
What?
Nintendo. But
Retro?
all they've done is Noise, the
Oh.
one that does the custom Robo stuff. It looks like the only stuff they've done is custom Robo, some DSi Japanese only Katamari puzzle game. Interesting.
Okay.
And some other games in Japan that didn't come out over here.
So I just
Interesting.
find it fascinating that Retro did that. I find it even more fascinating that Reggie went out of his way to include the picture, and then he systematically placed Mario right there. Because, Reggie's just such a nerd at heart. He's like, ooh, I'll get them. You know what I mean?
I
What do you think
definitely
Reggie's-
agree that he got it there, but I'm trying to think because it doesn't seem like there's enough space for another character to be standing there. I don't know. It just doesn't make sense.
I need to pull up this picture again. I saw it the other day, but I really need to.
I don't know. It can't be seen, but behind Mario, you see the little hand.
Could you send that in the message, Devin? I want to see that like in its full pixelated glory here.
Yeah. Okay. Download.
And now, guys,
you say all the commands. All right, download. Open Messenger. Send.
Sending now. Viewed.
There you go.
Guys, we all know Reggie most likely. We all know Reggie most likely is listening to this podcast right now, but let's pretend he's not. What do you think he's doing right now? If he's not listening to the podcast. 15 years. What do you think Reggie's first thing he does on his first weekend off?
He's hanging out with his family.
Hanging out with his family. What do you think he's doing? Like, do you think he's playing Mario Kart, or do you think he's going to a mall?
Sorry, I'm analyzing the picture real quick. But...
He goes to a mall kiosk to play Mario Kart.
Yeah, that looks like something, man. That looks like a character. I'm
trying to get a better look at it.
I don't think that
my thing is it's weird. In between Mario's legs, you can see Samus's leg. So that means the entirety of this character is fitting between Mario's, right on Mario's right leg. It doesn't seem possible.
It could be
what if it's
placed right there?
What if his whole body is behind Samus's and he's just peeking around the corner going like this?
Yeah,
that is a valid point. I didn't think about that, but still, it just doesn't seem possible that an entire character, especially with the size of that hand, could be fitting right behind that leg. Artistically speaking, I'm saying.
Well, let's say that it's not anything, but then what would we say about this hand? Is it just like, what does it pertain to?
It has to be a new IP.
And then there's this the item right below her blaster.
Let me see if I can get I'll try to get the picture on the chat. Nick says the chat is like 3 minutes behind. Sorry, bud. I don't know what to tell you. Sometimes this thing doesn't sync up. But keep talking about it. I'm gonna get a picture for everybody.
I'm trying to get a bigger picture.
Reggie.
No, I'm just looking at it on my phone because now I'm thinking okay, if you look at the size of the hand and if the character is really that small, and I'm thinking of like the tank from Left 4 Dead with one giant arm, little tiny robot.
Okay, here I got the chat. Hang on a second. So here's the picture. You guys probably can't see it because we're looking at each other, but it's on the chat right now. Here's the picture. Thanks for playing. You have Donkey Kong right here. You have Diddy right here. Then Dixie. You have a Metroid and a Samus, and then this Mario statue is not part of the picture. And then there's the hand. That is definitely a hand. You got a hand right here, and then something. Is this a visor? Is this it can't be an elbow since the head is right there. But you can see two features because that is definitely not part of Samus, where Mario's arm is. And then right by his hip, you have a hand. Now that is unmistakably a hand.
So let's just entertain it, Ken and guys. Let's just go with the timeline. There is a person there, right?
Okay.
Is this a new IP or is this an existing IP?
Well, we'd have to see what I'll leave it right here what we're talking about. Oh no, I can't. That's the thing. We'd have to what are other games that Retro Studios have done? Because that would be the only thing we could think of.
What if it's I see your point, but what if it's like something that they have adopted that's another IP in the Nintendo catalog?
If we're to go by rumors, the rumors are that the only thing that Retro has been working on that we know of would be a Star Fox / F-Zero game. That was the rumor of last E3. And then when we got Starlink, some people started thinking, well, maybe we just got confused. But there are rumors. But even then, what does that robot have to do with Star Fox and or F-Zero? So, and if they were handed something, what would it be? Custom Robo? Because, that's definitely not Chibi. Because Chibi would be, way smaller. I mean, you could always say he grew or whatever, but honestly, even the creator of Chibi said, this is probably our last chance.
And I'm trying to look at different pictures from Custom Robo, and it doesn't look like any of the hands from any of the. Oh no, maybe. Hold on.
And it looks like
it.
It looks like they went out of their way to get anything that would be recognizable. Because you got, I mean, the fact that, well, I guess Cranky is not in there, but you got Dixie. Dixie, to me, as kind of a very, very casual DK fan, Dixie is kind of not very prominent to me. So it's like,
I just looked something up that people are thinking that it's a hand of a boxer from the game on the Virtual Boy called Teleroboxer.
Hold on.
I could see where people would get the idea of it, maybe like a slightly newer design of it, but I don't know.
Did they do Teleboxer?
No, they did. I'm not really seeing it as that.
Yeah, I can't. It's just kind of a different form, essentially. It is. It's. I can see why they would say that, but I don't think it is that.
Yeah, I don't think it is that either. It's just an interesting idea that it.
Yeah.
Unless they were given the Teleboxer franchise, because if they didn't do Teleboxer, because Reggie does have a Virtual Boy in that picture. So let's just entertain Devin's theory, or not Devin's, but the one he brought up.
It was R&D1 that worked on Teleroboxer.
Okay, so that takes away that. Plus, so let's dissect it a little further. What if they were given the franchise? I would say it would be very unlikely that a new boxing game is coming out, because we just had ARMS, and in all honesty, we're due for Punch-Out. So for Nintendo to introduce a third boxing game would be, to me, very odd. Since, I don't think they do very well.
Bring back Virtual Boy games thanks to this baby.
No, that's true. That's true. Good counterpoint. Good counterpoint. So, Virtual Boy could be coming back in some way, shape, or form. And I'll tell you what, that would be. They should just release every Virtual Boy game on one little cart.
That would be interesting. I think
that would be so awesome. Which, by the way, I still need to. I need to do my Virtual Boy, because my the Labo, I still have to do it. Me and Devin last week were.
Sorry.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean Devin. I meant David. Me and David last week were going to do it, and then both of us were just like, "Oh, we didn't have time." What were you saying?
I'm waiting until the 25th when the updates for Mario and Zelda come out. So I'm just going to build it and get right on there.
Thankfully, after Easter time is a very busy time at work for me. So after Easter, I can just really start catching up. I've been doing, if it wasn't for nightly news, I wouldn't be as active as I have been on this channel. So I'm thankful for that, because I just have not had the time to really do morning videos, but thankfully that will change soon, and I'll be able to deep dive into the Virtual Boys. Also, it's kind of sucks that my family's away right now, and they're away for I don't know when they're coming back, honestly. We had an illness in the family, and right now everything's up in the air. So it's like, I really want to experience Labo with my kids, so I'm like, dang it. So there's just a lot of reasons why I haven't really done anything about Labo, but I did say that Labo is really cool, and thankfully everybody now is just saying, wow, this Labo is way better than I thought it would be, the VR kit. So,
and the one thing I've noticed, I don't know if anybody else is noticing this, the VR kit with the everything in it, I have not seen it physically in the store until I picked it up. It's nowhere to be seen. I'm only seeing the cheaper one with just the visor.
This thing is selling out. It is selling out, people, and it's only going to get better or / worse. There's probably a combo of reasons why, because if you remember, they were fire selling these things at Target for like $20 a couple of months ago.
Yeah, I want the one with the racing wheel in it. I missed that one. It's the only Labo kit that I don't have.
You need it?
Yeah, I do need it.
Are you like a completist? Are you trying to complete everything?
I would like to have all 4 Labo kits, and no, I'm not trying to go for like every Switch game in existence. I'll die.
Okay. All right.
But I would like to have the racing wheel one, just because I want all of the Labo kits, because I have a feeling in the future it's going to be like that Virtual Boy thing where there's going to be like a fan following behind it because no one actually liked it when it first came out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and the thing with the Labo VR kits is like I think a lot of the stores were very like they didn't want to overstock this time, so they didn't buy a lot. But because
I totally get that
because it's VR, because it's VR, everybody is like going crazy, or people are slowly buying it, and the fact that reviewers, the people who are the hardest on Labo to begin with, even they're saying it's really cool. So now
people are saying it's like totally worth the money, which I'm glad to see because that means they're going to keep furthering Labo.
Yeah, and once Zelda and Mario Odyssey gets updated on the 25th, it becomes a must buy. And yeah, it's sold out on stores. Lots of stores have sold out. Lots of stores don't even have the little kit, let alone the big kit.
For me, I'm only seeing the little kit with just the visor. The one with all the parts that I have here, I have not seen it yet in the store physically.
All right, so we've got Paradox saying he fixed his stage. So last night we were playing some custom stages in Smash Brothers, and we had to stop because they were quote-unquote broken in that they had some kind of thing that was unforeseeable, and then we couldn't play any further. And that's okay. It's not to say, oh, your stage sucked. No, broken in a sense that when it's the term means you can't play the game stops playing, the game can't go further, and that there's going to be a lot of that stuff on custom stages until we can like get the bugs out. So his is fixed. And then our resident ninja teleport, my Labo VR is coming Monday, the day of getting my wisdom teeth out. Dun dun dun. But do you think you'll enjoy it? Do you like the idea? I definitely like the idea. I definitely was weirded out by the idea. And if you go back to my Zelda Labo reaction, you'll see that I think I'll enjoy it.
Well, the VR in itself was such a shadow drop, and then when they released that Zelda thing, that just, I think, instantly turned people onto it.
Were they including some sort of strap that you can put it on your head?
Not yet.
Not yet. Right. If they're going to keep putting actual game features into it like they did with Zelda and Mario, I have a feeling they're going to. They have to.
Well, one of the things I want them to do, that we had it on the Wii U, the Google Maps. The Google Maps on the Wii U was great, and it would be neat to have that on the Switch with the VR, and you could go into Street View in VR.
Mm-hmm. Nick's on his way to go help his mom pack up to go to Oregon. She's going on the Oregon Trail. Be careful of forging the river, all right? Because I'll tell you what, so many times, yeah, and dysentery. Dysentery runs rapid. I shouldn't be. I don't want to make fun of him.
If you see a man named Terry, do not diss him.
Yeah.
Can you tell us the history of dysentery in North America? Like,
wait till Friday. All right, why don't you wait till Friday and I'll explain it all while I'm trying to win at Smash Brothers.
Can you catch the guys up to speed?
No, you catch them up. You wanna do this? You catch them up.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Can you tell us the some top 3 grenades of all time, Ken?
Look at my face.
In real history, not in video game history.
No. Go on, you talk to them. I'm out of this conversation.
So pretty much Ken was like playing some Smash matches down to the wire, and he was like hyper focused, and I knew that he would be a sucker to history questions. Right, so I asked him while he's like intensely focused, and you could see his focus starting to like affect the way his character was playing on the screen, because he was like down to like what your last stock against one of the big guys last night, and I asked him, hey, can you tell me the history about grenades in North America? What was the first grenade introduced? And he's like, well, do you consider this type of grenade? What do you consider a grenade? Because there could be, like makeshift grenades where people put like nails and like other like gunpowder and stuff. And my goal was to distract him, and I was successful. So,
and not only that, he does it like 3 times or 4 times throughout the entire chat. I like call him out on it. I'm like, quit talking to me. And it's like right when I lose, that it's all clear. I've been bamboozled. And then I'm like, quit doing that. And then he would just do it again, and I would just every single time. Hey, Roman Reigns is in a Rock movie, huh? I'm like, oh, really? He just battled leukemia. Yeah, Roman Reigns, he's been around for like 10 years and all this stuff.
And I know he's a sucker for wrestling, so he's gonna talk about it. He can't ignore it.
Yeah, no one ever talks. Like, I need a YouTube channel for history and a YouTube channel for wrestling because nobody, like, before this, I didn't have anyone to talk video games with.
Just combine both together, man. Just put them all together. Video games, history teacher that loves wrestling or something like that.
Well, I did get to talk about Mankind today, so that was nice. But yeah, he was totally like just distracting me last night without me like realizing it. Like, he asked the dumbest questions, like, what were the first three grenades? First three grenades. He was asking me like hypothetical questions where I had to walk backwards and snap my fingers, and I don't know. There was something else. The first introduced in America. No, it was the first grenade introduced in America. What were three? I don't know. Watch yesterday's podcast. But yeah, I fell for it every time. And yeah, I was doing really good, and then slowly but surely dead.
It's good stuff, man. Good stuff. You're an easy target, man.
Oh, thanks. Is that a compliment? Yesterday though was crazy. It was like I did a late night smash because I didn't get home from work until like 9. And then like 2 or 3 people who aren't usually frequently the smash stream, because if you don't know, guys, I do a smash stream every 8 p.m. on Eastern Standard Time on Fridays, but yesterday I did it at like 10 p.m. And like 2 people, P Shooter Plant and Nevin, I believe, and there was a Klingus. They showed up along with Calf, who's been showing up for the month now. They showed up, and I was about to end the stream. Like, okay, guys, it's dangerous to wait a second. How many has this guy won? And then I realized he was at like 4 victories. So I could. And the challenge on the stream is if you win 7 in a row, you get the belt. So then I had to stay on for like another hour and a half because this dude was killing everybody. And it came down to match number 7, most likely. We weren't 100% sure but it was like match number 7. And thankfully, we beat him. But woo, buddy, it was, I was sweating.
We were about to give up a belt that we did not expect for a guy to rise up from the ranks. He literally joined. He was like, he literally saw the chat or the live streaming Smash Brothers. He's like, hey, can I jump in? I was like, friend me. He friended me, so I let him in, and then boom, he just started tearing us apart. Yep.
One time, huh?
He's pretty good. I played him after the stream ended, and I won a couple matches. And it's very intense. Some of the best intensive Smash games that I've had in a minute. So
yeah, sometimes when you get on that hot streak, you can't stop. It's like you're down, like, yeah, you're just not gonna lose. Like, for whatever reason, you could be good, but for whatever reason, you're next level, that night. So it was fun. It was a fun time. Devin, you ever gonna join us back on the Smash night?
If I'm actually off on Fridays, I would love to. It was a good time.
I might if I get the chance to.
I will say I can be a little bit of a jerk on Friday nights. I try to be very nice throughout the week, but Friday nights have this little button, just someone presses it. The devil on your shoulder is just like, say this. And then the angel on my shoulder is like, yeah, that's pretty funny.
Yeah. Yeah, like how you decided to make it 7 wins now. So it's okay. We'll just gloss over that, but it's okay.
Well, the 7-win thing I thought was fair because I want you to get it. And I didn't want somebody to just, a pro to come. So now you have more of a chance, Devin, in reality. David, you have more of a chance now to
of a chance. I've had 4 winning streaks. About to get the belt, on the cusp, man.
Yeah, but now, because the fiscal year, I explained it last night. Basically, I gave him 1 fiscal year to get it, and the fiscal year ended in March. So now we reevaluated the terms, and sometimes you have to renegotiate because of inflation and all these things. And with
Sometimes
the
you make up
popularity
rules on
of with the
fly, but,
popularity
you know,
of
it's just,
Smash Brothers,
fiscal year. It's just all of a sudden that was in the terms and agreement, I suppose, and I was like, okay, I guess we're in a fiscal year now, the end of it. So.
yeah. So there was the agreement. You agreed to it. You said, "Yep, okay."
He's got you.
Oh man.
Verbal agreement.
and what else was I gonna say? So then yeah, but this dude almost. But you gotta admit this. Even though I didn't want to give up the belt, even though I was tired and wanted to go to bed, I kept the stream going because he made it. I do keep to my rules.
yeah, you definitely didn't like. You didn't like cheat him out of that. So.
But
You
it was
honored it. So.
The belt's value has increased due to inflation. Okay, then. Yes. It has increased due to inflation, Paradox. I'm glad we get each other, Paradox. Mm-hmm. And it looks like we got about 10 more minutes. This time has flown for me. I don't know about you guys. You guys got anything to, like, what's something else? You want to talk about the Switch Mini? We talked about, I don't know, everything else. So what do you guys want to talk? Whoa. Hey-oh. Yeah, okay. So I want to talk about Raquel for a hang on a second. I want to talk about Raquel for a second. Raquel just thank you very much, Raquel. She just dropped a 20. Wow, thank you. And as Steve Urkel would always say, I'll do my Steve Urkel. Can I do that? So
can you do that again?
Yes, for Raquel though. No one else. Everyone close your eyes but Raquel. Can I do that? So thank you. And he like pull up his pants, suspenders and everything. I know me.
How would he sing Barbie Girl though?
He would sing it like this. All right. Hang on. Gotta pull up the pants. Like I'm a Barbie girl in a Barbie world. There was a Urkel dance even. Believe it or not. There was an Urkel dance.
Oh my goodness. Ken's going on America's Got Talent.
You think so? Should I?
Sing songs in Steve Urkel like impression.
Watch out, Simon. Here I come. Raquel, if you've got a request, let me know. I feel like I should be dancing or something. Like she did this on Thursday too. She like dropped a 10. I really don't know what to say. Like honestly, there is no requirement or anything for me to answer stuff. It's just I'm very humbled, honestly. It's just like, wow, crazy. You're supporting the channel. And let me tell you guys something. I just pour this money back into the channel some way, somehow. Like I want to get some kind of better audio. That is my next step. Better audio. The podcasts are probably fine, but when I come to my morning videos, that's where I feel it's lacking. So Raquel, thank you so much for your support. And everybody else, thank you so much for your support. Just watching a commercial on the channel is such a great way to kind of financially support the channel. Watch a commercial, not even donating, because that helps in the long run. But Raquel, you are like a rock star. Thank you very much. William, what were you saying before I interrupted you?
Oh, no, I was heading off. I left something out in the other room. I got a package from GameStop when I was on vacation. Yeah.
What is it? Can you open it right now? Let's see what it is.
A little Buck Bumble.
Oh!
You just got the song in my head.
I love it.
All right.
Yeah. It was on sale, so I'm like, I'm buying it.
What is the Buck Bumble? How does it go? Drop like, the beat. How does it go? I can't remember right
like
offhand.
Bump to the 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 bump.
Lyrics right here for it, yeah. And it starts out with the right about now. It's time to rock with the Bickety Buck Bumble.
I need to do something with that. That is like, I should reach out. Find out who does it, like the developer and stuff.
Apparently, I looked in the comments, but apparently that is actually it was actually played in the discotheques or the clubs in London in the early '90s, and it was actually like a legit song. It's kind of like those. It's kind of like Napoleon Dynamite, the song that he dances to in the talent show.
Uh-huh.
It's actually by a band called Jamiroquai, which is like a huge band, and they've got a bunch of great songs.
Wait, is that the Virtual Insanity people?
Yes.
Yeah, it's Virtual Insanity.
Yeah.
Oh well, the song that he actually played that they actually
Guys,
play
I'll be
in,
right back. I think my dog really has to go to the bathroom.
the song that they play in Napoleon Dynamite is not Virtual Insanity. It's Canned Heat.
Go.
So if you want to Google that or YouTube it, Canned Heat.
Okay.
Devin's making
One of the first ones that comes up.
Devin's making it his ringtone, as you can see right now.
Yeah. I was actually just looking to see what band that actually is that did the Buck Bumble song, but I can't seem to find it.
Yeah. No, but Raquel, man, thanks. You're.
Oh yeah, I know Canned Heat.
It's awesome. That's really cool that you like us first of all, that you tolerate our weirdness, but that you would donate second. That's awesome. That's really cool.
Oh, I think Canned Heat's also in DDR. I think that's how I know it.
Yeah, like I think a remixes of it is on it.
Yeah.
Too.
Alrighty.
Okay.
Devin's now he just bought the song, so
Yeah, totally.
So what do you guys have planned for the weekend, man?
Unfortunately, working and well, I didn't bring it up earlier. Cuphead finally came out, so I'll probably be almost snapping my Switch in after that.
Yeah, I'll probably be picking it up.
I won't be able to hear about your scratch story because I have to go like in 5 minutes. I have to go to the dealership, but fill me in, man, later.
Yeah, we'll do. Ken's back.
Okay, so I'm sorry.
Okay.
Hey, how are you guys?
What's up?
What time? Let's discuss real quick. Is it 7 p.m. or is 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is what we're doing? No, wait, 8 or 9 Eastern Standard Time are we doing the podcast?
I think it was definitely. Let's see. It was definitely.
I think it was 8 p.m.
Times. 8 p.m.
Eastern Standard Time.
If
7
it's
o'clock
8,
for.
If it's 8, I can stay for a good chunk of it.
Okay, let's do 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is when we're moving to Thursdays, at least next Thursday. So just I want everybody to know 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is when we're moving to Thursdays. I know EPS 5000 said there was kind of a conflict for him. EPS, I understand if that is the case and you can't make it live for this. Just watch us on whatever. And also we are looking into getting on Spotify or something like that. I'll be honest with you, that was kind of more, I tasked myself with it, and I've just, time-wise, and then sometimes, you know how it is, you're just so busy, you gotta do 800 things, and then you get 5 minutes, and you're just like, or an hour, and you're like, I don't want to do anything, I've been so busy, I just want to sit here, and, so that's kind of what happened. I do want to get it on Spotify and stuff like that. I don't know how that works, if it's paid or anything like that, and that's why certain things like when Raquel just drops a 20, that stuff goes to that stuff. The upkeep of the channel and whatnot, and the commercials too, because like when I get a 78,000 viewed parody video, I think for every, what is it? For every 1,000 views, it's like equates to almost like $1, or something like that. That's pretty much like how the YouTube algorithm or the YouTube money works. I think I want to say it's like that. So it's like you get pennies per view, but it adds up. It does add up. But then when Raquel drops like a 20, that's like 20,000 views. So it you know what I mean? So we're saying right now, 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time is the Thursday night podcast. So it's Thursday night, PM, 8 p.m. And we'll just continue there. This podcast kind of formed, really. Me and Devin was the first. I was like, hey, Devin, you want to do a podcast with me? Let's just talk. And Devin's like, sure, why not? What did you think when I asked you about that?
No, I
for the
thought it
first
was
time.
an interesting idea. I'd never even thought about doing anything with YouTube, and then when you said that, I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, I just liked, Devin, that you were just so detail oriented, or you were such a collector. You like, I collect and stuff, and I get all these deals, but most of my deals I find online. You're going to the stores. You're store hopping. You're going, I went to this Target, I went to that Target, and that's why I was like, I think I want that dude on the channel. And then I think David, you were number 3, and we met because of the your Wii U Jurassic Park Dr. Wu Target exclusive that might have been recalled due to copyrights.
Which I sold, but it's okay.
Yeah, sold for like what, like $100.
Yeah, I sold it for like $50.
Yeah, right. Careful, JR might be listening. He would freak out. And I think, you know what? I never told you this, David. But honestly, you were only meant to be a guest on the show.
That's fine. I can leave now if you want. I don't know, man.
Yes, so this is your time. No, seriously, in my head I wanted you as a guest, but then I don't know, we got to talking and I was like, I think the way you talked, you said next week we can do this, and I was like, yeah, next week we can. And then I was like, oh, this dude's committed. I was like, cool. I don't have to like ask him to do this.
I think he actually maybe that, but I think you actually formally asked me to be a part of the podcast too.
Did I? Okay, maybe I did that.
Maybe you just liked how I was, man, and then you were like, I just need another guy. So I was like, okay, cool.
Okay, maybe that was it then.
I was on as just a guest.
Or maybe it was you that was supposed to be just the guest then, William. I'm not sure. I remember one of you was supposed to be just, you were supposed to be 1 week, and then it just kind of like, the second week happened, the third week happened, and I was like, I like this dynamic.
Well, I remember, like, we got done with that episode, and you're like, you want to stay on?
Okay, maybe that's what happened then. Maybe I'm remembering it just a little wrong.
Yeah, Ken, I remember you messaging me and being like, hey, do you want to be a part of the podcast? And
okay,
like,
so maybe that's what happened, and we just got Spider Monkey just described. Thank you, Spider Monkey. We're actually a minute overdue on time, so I gotta wrap it up. I just wanted to just talk a little bit about the podcast there for a second. So maybe
last Saturday, I think that's fair.
Huh? Yeah. So this is the last Saturday podcast, but not the last podcast. We are definitely continuing. We just love it so much. We love you guys so much. It just felt Thursday night. We had a little bit more of an energy to the crowd. So we're going to try it like a month. And if you guys hate it on Thursdays, let me know. And if you don't want to call me out, in public, which I really don't care. If you don't want to do that, you can always private message me on our Facebook group, Move Over Kids, on Twitter, on Instagram. You can throw it in the chat. You can throw it in the comment, and it can be, you'd be very respectful, but you can have a disagreement. Like, you know what? I felt you guys were just really great on Saturday. It replaced Saturday morning cartoons. I felt that was your niche, or maybe it's something different. You know what? The night things just does not work for you guys. You seem too tired. I don't like that William's not there all the time. I don't like that Devin's not there every week. So just let us know, and then we can tweak it, because this channel is an experiment, right? We're the community, and we want to figure it out as we go. Everything we do for this channel is just trying to make the channel better for you guys, for us, for everybody. So if Thursday doesn't work, let us know. I can't promise you that if it doesn't work for you, that we will change everything for you. But if it doesn't work for the community, then that's when we got to start looking at things. But the only way I will know that is if you let me know. And then if enough of you let me know, then I'll be like, okay, this isn't working. We got to go back. So, but for right now, Thursdays, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, live. And what about anything? David, why should people join us on Thursdays?
Because the energy is hot. It feels like you're just hanging out with your friends, and it feels like whenever you real quick. I'm gonna say this real quick, but remember whenever you were in grade school, and that cool kid was like, "Hey, I'm having a party at my house, and we're having pizza, and it's a sleepover." That's kind of the vibe we're trying to reach here.
Yeah, so. And hey, Raquel, if you catch this before I leave, tell me what food you want me to eat next Thursday.
She will do it too.
Devin, why should people join us on Thursday? Why should they come back to us?
Same thing that David was saying, definitely, and it's a day before the Smash, so you get all hyped up and ready to go for that, so David can lose again.
Hype train, choo choo. I like that, Devin. That's the quote of the day. Forget Zelda's my Zelda, so David can lose again. William, how about you? Welcome back, Jr.
Because what else are you gonna do on a Thursday night?
That's the new motto of the
Thursday
podcast. Because what else are you gonna do? Haha, I'm already thinking about it. Okay, Raquel, you gotta give me some notice though, or tell Devin to tell me what I'll eat. Because last time I ate some carrot cake and whatever, if it's a thing, it's a thing. Guys, it's seriously, we love you guys on Saturday. We love doing this. We would do it on both days, but we do have jobs and family and stuff like this, so we're just picking Thursdays at this point. It's thank you for joining us, and if by chance Saturday is the only day that works, don't worry, I leave it all up, so you can just catch us on a different day. Believe it or not, I read every single comment I get, so if you can't participate live, you can participate after the fact, and I'll read it. I'll respond to you. So, guys, it's dangerous to go alone. Please share this video, this podcast, with a friend. We'll see you Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And Raquel, I just want to give you one last shout out. Thank you so much for your financial support and your interaction with the chat. And everybody, you guys are awesome. Paradox, EPS, Social Games, CAF, Asil Patel, you guys, whoever I'm missing, please know that I think of every one of you. You guys are here where this channel is growing. This is the part where the channel grows and blows up. And you guys are here right now, and that means so much to me. Guys, see you Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Have a